welcome to Harrison Hacks.
Hey guys, welcome back to Harrison Hacks. Today I'm just going to be playing a little bit of Super Punch-Out. This is on my SNES Classic build for the PC. So let's get right into the game and see how it is. I'm going to be playing on my 8-bit-do Super Nintendo controller. This is the SNES 30, and I'm connected through Bluetooth. So you can see it's got a nice bezel, and the theme for the build is created by Dave Barcy. This overlay, which is really nice, was done by James Baker. So I'll go to New Game. I remember this game when I was younger. I mean, everybody was trying to beat. I think the tough guy to get past at that point was Hoy Carlo. Man, took forever to figure that guy out. But I found that this was a little easier than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. They could have made it a lot more difficult. And for whatever reason, it was, I guess, a little more kid-friendly as far as difficulty. Now, I know people do speed runs through this. I'm pretty good at it, but I don't know all the little tricks to beat guys as fast as possible. But if you haven't gotten yourself the SNES 30 from 8-bit-do, definitely check that out. I bought one way back when, and I also have the NES Classic Bluetooth adapter for it, which I actually use on my PC to connect my PS3 controller to my computer, and then I just use my onboard Bluetooth to connect my 8-bit-do controller. But if anyone played the arcade games, you'll remember that Bear Hugger was in the arcade version as well. So he's a Canadian boy like myself, I guess. One game I'd like to start playing, and I haven't tried it on the Dolphin emulator yet, I'd like to play the Punch-Out for the Wii. I did briefly play it on a Nintendo Wii before, and it seemed pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure the end boss on the Wii version is Donkey Kong, I want to say. Could be wrong, but definitely I want to check that out, and I'm hoping they come out with a new Punch-Out game for the Switch. That would be really nice. I usually can beat the game without getting hit, but not on this attempt apparently. Whoops. Wow, I'm playing really bad. Yeah, I usually go without getting hit to beat the game. But the one guy that still sometimes hits me when I play, even if I'm on a roll, is Hoy Carlo. For some reason, I always get messed up with him. And like I said earlier, he was the guy that everyone had a tough time with when I was a kid. There we go. And I was surprised when they made this Super Punch-Out. I was expecting King Hippo. I thought that would have been a really cool guy to put in there, even if he was in the special circuit. I thought they should have added him in. I'm glad they did Bald Bull. But I guess they have to change the characters up. But I would have liked to see, you know, a Super Punch-Out 2 and then just add a bunch more characters, change up their style a little bit. Who knows? I mean, who knows what the Switch will bring, but I've been a huge Punch-Out fan since Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I mean, it was probably the best game on the NES when I was a kid. It was my favorite game on the NES. Tons of others too. I mean, there's, you know, I was huge into Bad Dudes, Gunsmoke, obviously the Marios, Zeldas. Oh man, I'm brutal today. And this is not the controller. The controller works perfect. This is just me having an off day playing Super Punch-Out. There we go. Wow. I wish I would have blamed the controller. I wouldn't look so bad. Yeah, this is the worst outing of Super Punch-Out I've had in a long time. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, pretty smooth going, right up till Mike Tyson, obviously. That's when I start getting into the save states just to be safe. On emulation, I think Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I beat Mike Tyson quite a few times, but a lot of those times was using save states. I beat him a few times without using a save state, just go straight through the game, boom. No cheat code, just go right through the game. On an actual NES console, I've maybe beat him twice, maybe 3 times, but he's probably one of the hardest end bosses of any game. But I mean, he's Mike Tyson, so I'm sure back in the day to beat him in real life, you know, was probably even more difficult. I gotta say, I mean, if you don't have the 8-bit though SNES controller, check it out. Another thing they have coming out is a Bluetooth arcade stick, and it's actually moddable, so you can put in Sanwa parts, and it's fully customizable, which is really nice. It's 80 bucks American. It's available for pre-order. Definitely check that out. I'd love to get one myself down the road. Just gotta, by the time you transfer that over to Canadian dollars, I can't afford it. So it'll be something I look into in the future. But right now my goal is to, I mean, obviously I'm playing the SNES Classic Edition build on the PC, but I'm very, very interested in getting an SNES Classic system. I have my NES Classic, I've got one, you know, they're sitting in the boxes in the closet, brand new, never touched. Obviously I did have one that I was modding and stuff with the Hackchi and all that. And it's awesome. It's an awesome little unit, great collector's item, and I hope to get the SNES Classic as well. And really, really hoping they do an N64 Classic Edition. I wouldn't expect 2 controllers included in the in the Nintendo 64 bundle. But I mean, if they could, I mean, the NES Classic came with 1 controller, and to get a secondary one was hard to do. Luckily, the Wii Classic controllers worked. But it's better having the actual NES controller, in my opinion. And with the SNES Classic, you're getting 2 controllers included. So everyone who has the Wii versions of those that came out for the Nintendo website for the Wii back when, I think you had to have like Nintendo points or something to get them. and they've been selling like for crazy prices. So now all those are not going to be worth nearly as much because you're getting 2 controllers included with your SNES Classic. I'm not into scalpers. It's scalping to me is kind of ridiculous because you get these guys and they probably got a hookup at the video game stores where it's like, okay, my buddy works there and he's going to set aside X amount for me, and then we'll post them on Kijiji and split the profits after we, way overcharge people who actually want to play the system. Now for me, I did get a few of the NES Classics. I wanted a European version and the 2 different North American versions, which I do have, but they're mine. It's not like I bought them so that I can start scamming people into paying 3-4 times the actual cost of the unit. I wanted them to collect. I mean, that was why I got them. I'm still gonna get a Famicom Mini, but it wasn't on the top of my list. I mean, it's something that I may do in the future if I come across one. But again, I won't pay scalper prices, so, a little over, sure, because it is a discontinued product. But with the SNES Classic, I mean, I'd like to get my hands on all the different versions of that too. And to be quite honest, with the controllers, I mean, even the one I'm using now, this is the Super NES version, with all the purple. But I actually like the colored buttons that they got. I believe it was Australia, Europe. They got Super Nintendo, but with colored buttons on the controller, and I like the look of those controllers more. And the Super Famicom had the same color scheme. So definitely I'd like to get the Super Famicom version, the European Super Nintendo version, as well as the SNES Classic from North America. And I'm sure someone will hack that, and we're off and running, adding whatever games we want. And I'm curious, the Edge joystick that came out for the NES Classic. When I had Hackchi running on my NES Classic, that thing worked great for 2-button games. Like, I was rocking WrestleFest and, obviously Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, all the classic old games that didn't need too many buttons. And now that 8BitDo has their Bluetooth, I mean, I could hook that up to one of my NES Classics if I want, since I have the 8BitDo Bluetooth adapter for the NES Classic. And I'm going to definitely check it out when I get an SNES Classic and make sure that it's working on there, because it's the same port. Which would give me this controller I'm using right now would give me the wireless option. I would have the, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. It would give me the wireless option to have a Bluetooth with my SNES Classic since I have the adapter. But I'll have to wait and see if that works. And I'll definitely be posting a video on what works and what doesn't on the SNES Classic. And once it's modded, I'll definitely be posting videos on how-tos and all that kind of stuff. Because we know it's going to get modded. Everything gets modded eventually. And what was nice about Hackchi was it was so user-friendly by the end. I mean, Cluster really did an awesome job, and then, to be able to control your save states and everything that he did, box art looked great, and just adding the RetroArch to it was phenomenal, because then that way, like I said, I hooked up my Edge joystick, and I was playing arcade games on there, through MAME, which was pretty sweet. I mean, I've got 2 Wii Classic controllers. I've got a Wii Classic Pro, I've got the GameCube style controller, and now I have the 8BitDo wireless NES controller with the NES Classic adapter. So can't wait to see if the 8BitDo wireless adapter does work with the SNES Classic. Then I'll be definitely getting another one so that I can have 2 at a time. Alright, let's see if I can time this. Nope. I'm usually pretty good at this game. I don't know what's going on today. But, yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in the SNES Classic build for PC, I'm thinking about doing an Arcade Punks exclusive. I mean, they've been great to me, you know, sharing my videos. I even have my own section on the Arcade Punks site. They share my builds, so it's really, really cool what they've done so far. And oh, again, I'm not timing this right. But yeah, post down in the comments. I mean, what do you want to do with the SNES Classic? Would you prefer to be using the wired, or are you more like, you know, you want to get the Bluetooth SNES controller from 8BitDo, or I mean, where would you go about it? Maybe you're more comfortable with the Wii Classic controller or the Wii Classic Controller Pro. I think with me, I'm definitely gonna start with just one wireless controller if it works, and when I get the funds, I'll get another. Maybe the Famicom, Super Famicom version from 8BitDo. And I've been mentioning them a lot in this video, just because I love this controller, and I love the adapter, the fact that I can hook up my PS3 controller to my PC and not take up my Bluetooth on board, which is great. But I'm not affiliated with 8BitDo at all. I had to buy my stuff. I wish they would send me an arcade stick just so I could, you know, do a review. But I guess my videos, or my channel is probably way too small for that. They should be sending it to someone like ETA Prime. He's got a big channel, and I've been a fan of his for, wow, since I started actually like getting into watching a lot of YouTube videos and then deciding, okay, I'm going to start my own channel. ETA Prime was definitely one channel where I was like, wow, I really, really like this guy's videos. He shows off a lot of different stuff. And I like the fact that he does reviews, he does how-tos, and, you know, I mean, he's just got so much knowledge about this stuff, and I'm really a big fan of ETA Prime's channel. The other one, RGT85, great channel. Geez, I could go through a whole list. There's a lot. Launchbox. I mean, I do all my builds on Attract Mode and Emulation Station, just because they're free. Launchbox is $20 American, which is reasonable because I mean, their front end looks phenomenal, but I just, you know, I'm on a budget. I would love to try Launchbox Big Box one day. I have tried their free version and it's pretty cool, but what you can do with the Big Box version is really awesome. So, you know, my hat's off to the Launchbox guys. They do a phenomenal job with their front end. And it seems like when I read their forums and stuff that they're always active trying to help out their customers and stuff, so which is really, really nice. They don't just take your money and run, they're actually doing like constant updates and stuff. So it's a nice front end. I know on my channel in a few videos I've knocked Hyperspin, and it's just it's a pain to get going, and it's not very user friendly, and that's, you know, I don't mean to knock it. Whoops. Forgot about that. I don't mean to knock Hyperspin. I mean, it's a nice looking front end. But now you can use their themes in Attract Mode, and Attract Mode is so much more user friendly, so I figure, hey, Attract Mode's the way to go. Emulation Station, some people prefer. If I had to choose, like I said, I've never tried Big Box, so I can't say that it's bad. But my top is Attract Mode. Attract Mode's my favorite front end. It's my favorite one to do builds with. The artwork and the themes and everything that you can do with Attract Mode is really awesome. And I do everything on PC. I mean, there is Attract Mode and stuff for the Raspberry Pi, and I don't have a Pi. and I don't plan to get a Pi until the 4 is done. Basically, if a Pi can do N64 and do it well, now I'm interested. But until the N64 can be emulated on there, and maybe a little bit better on the Dreamcast, I just have no interest in a Pi. I play N64 on my PC builds, and I use my RetroLink USB N64 controller, and that thing's held up. I mean, I know people may have had issues in the past with the joystick getting loose. I can say with mine, it's not happened yet. But definitely RetroLink is the higher end for N64 USB controllers. Oh man. There we go. Yeah, definitely I would recommend it. I mean, I use RetroLink for N64. I use 8BitDo, and I also have some USB Data Frog controllers from AliExpress, which are way cheaper. And they hold up pretty good. You know, they're not as good as the 8BitDo, but they work. I use my PS3 controller for emulating PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. Or, not 3, PlayStation 1 and 2. And I use, what else do I have? I have a Sega Saturn Data Frog USB controller that I really like because it's great for MAME. I don't have an arcade stick right now, so using the 6-button layout is really nice. And then having the L and R buttons on the top, because it's a Saturn controller, I like to use that for save states or, you know, exit, pause, whatever. Well, I'm doing good, aren't I? But I do have USB NES controllers, and again, they're Data Frog from AliExpress. I have not tried a higher end one. If anyone has, I mean, there's one called the Cadet, I believe by Hyperkin, and I don't know if they have a USB version of it. I know they have an NES version of it, but I definitely want to try that. And then there's a Kickstarter right now with a newly designed N64 controller, which only is N64. They do not have a USB option at this point, but I definitely want to check that one out once they come out with a USB option. Wow. All I had to do was hold up. Alright, this will be over soon. There we go. Yeah, I know most people use all the time, they'll use a PS3 controller or an Xbox 360 controller. They're readily available, so that makes sense. But for me, I like to have the actual feel of the controller. So if I'm playing a Super Nintendo game, I want to have a Super Nintendo controller. Same with NES, same with N64. Which, actually the N64, when I use my PS3 controller, I'm okay with it. But using the actual RetroLink NES USB controller, I do prefer it, but the PS3 one's definitely, you know, it gets me through. I thought about, when I emulate Dreamcast, I use my PS3 controller, and I definitely want to get a Dreamcast to PC adapter. Oh man, that was bad. Alright, I know I've been quiet for a little bit here, but I don't know why I have such a tough time with this guy. Ah. He's going down. Yeah, I always find that like people will spend a lot of money on, you know, an Xbox One for PC controller and all that stuff, and that's fine. But like I said, I'm more of the type of person that wants to use that controller. When I'm playing an NES game, I don't want 1,000 buttons and analog sticks. I just, I just want to have my D-pad and start, select A and B. I mean, that's all I need. I want that rectangle feeling in my hand. Come on, there we go. Wow, I usually never do this bad. This is crazy. Alright, final two. Ah. Oh, what was I thinking there? Prime opportunity, and I blew it. There we go. Yeah, I don't even know why I made this video. I felt like playing the game and thought, hey, I might as well record it and shoot the breeze a little. But I'm interested just to know, I mean, is there any controllers out there? One that I really want to try. I do the 8-bit though because I've heard of their great quality and the Bluetooth aspect, as well as they can be USB. And I, you know, like I said, I can use it on the NES Classic and hopefully the SNES Classic. But the iBuffalo SNES controller, heard nothing but good things about that. And I definitely want to get one. The price fluctuates so much. I had the opportunity, I think it was about 6 months ago. I could have got one for like 12 bucks Canadian, prime shipping. And at the time I was just like, no, I don't think I will. Actually, it was before Christmas because I know we were out shopping for my son. And I just happened to look online on Amazon while we were out, and I realized that it was there, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'll wait until the new year. And that was a mistake because they jumped up to, sometimes now they range around 25 bucks Canadian. So I mean, I could have got two for the price of one, and hopefully the price drops again sometime so that I can pick one up. But for 25 bucks Canadian, I'll pay an extra like 10 bucks and I'll get the 8-bit Bluetooth controller. Why did I do that? Yeah, I'd rather just get the Bluetooth. But if anyone out there has the iBuffalo and the 8-bit please post a comment and let me know which one you think's better. If the iBuffalo seems better than the 8-bit I'd love to know. Because I don't think there's a comparison video out there between those two. And from what I've found, 8-Bit Do and iBuffalo are the top two. So I'd love to see them pitted against each other and get some thoughts on it. Oh man! All right, I got one on. Wow. I'm not gonna lose now. I don't like to lose. I think that's it. Nope. Alright. Over. There we go. Well, that's it. That's obviously Super Punch-Out. My horrible attempt. I did beat it without losing, but I normally beat it without getting hit. So, but again, I mean, as I've been mentioning throughout the video, if you're curious on what controllers I use, those are the ones that I've been using. If you're playing SNES, then 8-Bit Do is the way to go. But anyone who has the 8-Bit Do and the iBuffalo, again, please let me know. Post a video if you have a channel, or let me know in the comments. I mean, the pros and cons to each that you find. That would be awesome, because if the iBuffalo seems worth it, then I'll definitely pick one up, and I can pit them against each other myself. But I've always wanted, like I said, to get some comparison thoughts from people on those two controllers. And anyone, if you have the Hyperkin Genesis USB controller, let me know what you think of that. Like I said, I've got a Datafrog Saturn controller, and it is great for Genesis, Saturn, and MAME FBA, all that, until I get an arcade stick. But I definitely, I'd like to get something a little higher build quality. This is really light. It feels cheap, but it does work, and the D-pad's actually better than I expected. So, again, guys, really appreciate you watching and letting me ramble while I barely beat Super Punch-Out. But again, thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Consider supporting me on Patreon. That would really help out my channel a whole lot, and keep me going with these builds. And I'm going to have some review videos coming up in the near future. Obviously, when the SNES Classic Edition comes out, if I'm lucky enough to even get my hands on one, I can definitely do some videos on that. And if I can get my hands on all the different versions, which is my goal for my own personal collection, then I will definitely make some videos on those and show you the differences, and we can go from there. So again, guys, thanks a lot. Have a good day.